Hey everybody, it's Brooke. I hope you're having a great day. It is, in my world, the 2nd of August, and yes, I don't have a creative daily journal. Yeah, this month, again, I know I say again, and I say this every month, I'm going to try to get back into my daily journaling habit because I really do miss it. So I thought this month I would use some packaging, a composition notebook, and some old scrap pages. If you're interested in seeing how to do this really simple creative daily journal, stick around. All right, so what I have is a box from the delicious All Brand Buds. Yep, you hit 50. My doctor says you have to eat these every day. It's a must. They're okay. It's not my favorite cereal. I'd much rather have Fruity Pebbles, but I try to be good sometimes. So I have lots of these boxes flying around, and I have a composition book that is mint green composition book, dot ruled. I think mint green is a Walmart company. I love this composition book. Johnny at Junk Journal Shop gifted it to me because it's dot ruled and she doesn't believe in that, but I love it, and it's ivory, and I wish I had 10 of them. So if anyone knows where to get these, please tell me. But we're gonna crack this open and use some of these pages. And then I also have these. I got these at a thrift store. They came out of one of these old-fashioned scrapbooks. It has the post binding in it. I just ripped the cover off. I'm saving this in case I want to use it for another journal cover. Unscrewed these little guys and popped out some of the pages. I like them because they're heavy, they've got a really nice texture, and they're not brittle at all. So when you're out thrifting, make sure to take a peek in some of the old photo albums that you see. A lot of them will have those magnetic pages that you really probably don't want to use for anything, but once in a while you'll find these, and they're awesome. And it is 12 by, well, it's actually a little more than 12 by 12. 12 by 13, I guess. So I'm going to start with deconstructing this composition book. I have it open like this because I found the center before I started the video, because it's kind of boring. You just have to flip around through the middle. And I think you can see there just barely the strings that bound this in. So we're just going to go ahead and take our X-Acto knife and pop those strings. And I've done this a million times, but again, as I've been saying, we have a lot of new friends here on the channel that are just getting into junk journaling and slow stitching and all the things that we enjoy. So I'm trying to go back to basics a little and explain things a little more thoroughly. Now I think, because I've been struggling with my creative daily journaling, I think I'm going to do this for just August. I'm going to do it 1 month. So that means if I need 8 folios, which will be 32 pages. So 31 days in August, that's cool. So if I want that, oh no, this is mathing, oh heavens. That means I need 4 folios of composition paper and 4 folios of this scrapbook paper. So that means I need 8 pages of this, and I'll explain why after I count. I can't do both. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And with any luck, these will just pull out from where we pop those threads. She says, oh, I think it's bound in more than one place. Okay, guess we're doing them one at a time. What the literal heck? Okay, this is a super bound journal, a memo book, composition book. There we go. Guess I missed some of the threads. Maybe that's it. Shoddy job deconstructing this composition book. All right, let's see. 1, 2. I'm trying to be a little careful so I don't rip the center where it's stitched. 3 and 4. Oh, that's where it's glued. It's glued and stitched. Holy cat. Oh boy, that might need some reinforcing when we get to it. Oh yeah, that ripped all up. Okay, so there's 1, This one might have to go in the use it for something else pile. Yep, it's also glued. Man! Okay, let's see if we can find another place. If that is the case, let's see. Oh, look at that. It will peel off that glued spine. Cool. So now, hopefully, let's see which one is less gluey. This one, maybe. Looks like it is bound again. Let's see if we can find the center of this. I've never seen a composition bound like that. It's never ever going anywhere, just so you know. So I'm just flipping through looking for those threads again. There we go. Try again. So it's bound into more than one signature and glued to the spine. Yep, pretty fancy composition book. But if it doesn't work at first, just give it another shot. Just got to be patient with it. So how many pages is this? 1, 2, 3, and 4. The pages are also heavier than a normal composition book. No, I'm going to go ahead and use 8. 1, 2. Now I could have just used this book as it is. I could have just taken out some of the pages, left the cover on it. I just felt like using my food box. So that's what I'm doing. I like making journals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Gotta find one more place because that's glued again. This will be more interesting next time I try to take pages out of here. I'll have to figure out where else it's glued. But if you're looking for a sturdy composition book, this is the way to go. Okay. There we go. So we have 8. Let's get this stuff out of my way. So now I have 8 composition book pages. Cool. And I'm sorry about the weird light. The sun is coming in from this way, and there's not much I can do about it. It's an odd time of day for me to be recording, but it's how the day went. You know how it goes. Try to do it when the sun's not coming in like that. Okay, so these are a little over 8 by 10. So that is what we want our cover to be. So we have our box here. Let me think about this. I want to use this piece as the spine. It's actually not really going to be a spine. I'm just going to use it as a cover. So what do I want to do? I might make it a little bit of a spine just because I make my books so bulky. So let's grab our scissors. I haven't made anything out of food packaging forever. There's a mighty straight cut. Just cutting up, obviously, quite roughly along, oh, goodness, that edge. Whoa! That's really bad cutting, even for me, but that's okay. Okay, so we have that. Let's go ahead and fold it and make it the right height. So I want to take off these bottom flaps. Do we have 10 inches here? I think we do. Oh, it's exactly 10 inches. All right, so I better not mess around with this. Better not mess around with the height. We've got kind of one shot. So I'm lining it up at the fold where the box folds. Lining the bottom up along this edge of my mat, which I don't think you can see. Okay, and I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. Give it a couple cuts. Hopefully it will go through in 2 because I did replace the blade this time. There we go. And we'll flip it around. Actually, let's flip it this way. That'll be easier. And I'm lining it up here. And I'm lining it up down across the bottom so we can hope for some semblance of straight. You know how I am. Okay. And we'll go right across that fold. And get those flappies off. Put those aside. Okay. So that is pretty darn good. I need a little haircut right here. And we'll need to do something with that front bit. What order should we do this in? I think what I'm going to do is, how wide is the spine? Well, not the spine, but the side of the box where it's folded. It's about 1 3/4. I'm going to cut that. What's half of 1 3/4? Who knows? Can we figure it out with our little 0 thing? I'm so bad at the little 0 thing. Oh, okay. So I put the 0 in the middle, got the same measurement on either side. I'm just going to use my Sharpie so you guys can see. And I'm going to put a little mark right there. I'm going to cut it right there. So that way we can have a little bit of a spine. It'll be reinforced and I can stuff it as full as I want to stuff it. So let's see. Let me get this down here where I can see. Oh, you guys can't see then. Okay. Trying to line up that mark that I made on one of the crosshairs of my mat. Oh, and you know what? I need to do it this way. Silly me. Let's try that again here. I need to cut towards me, which you're not supposed to do with an X-Acto knife, but it's how I need to do it. So I've got the dot lined up with my 12, so we can put our straight edge right down there. And we're going to cut it right here. Cool. Hopefully those are the same. Oh, well, we don't need that nonsense. Let's get rid of that. Let's not tear our book up, because I might just leave it plain. It kind of cracks me up to have food packaging as a cover. And then we should probably go ahead and neaten up the edges. So how wide? Let's do it one at a time. That's kind of thick to try to cut twice. What did we say? Just over 8? Let's put that there. Oh, we are going to have to trim. Darn it. I thought we were going to get away with it. Nope. So we're going to cut it right at on the fold of the other side of the box. When I eyeballed it, it looked like we'd be good. Okay, so I'm trying to get that straight-ish, right on that fold. I'm going to cut that. Come on, X-Acto knife, don't fail me already. And then we'll do the same over here. So I'm trying to keep it as wide as I can. Is it straight? Doesn't look straight. You don't look straight. Okay. You say you're straight. We'll see. Alright, we can neaten that up. Just going to give it a little snip right there where it didn't cut all the way through. Apparently the cereal box is tougher than it looks. Now you could absolutely collage all over this with digitals or scrapbook paper or magazine images, fabric. Did I already say fabric? Anything you want to do is just fine. I, for now, am going to leave it. First of all, because as I said, it's the 2nd of August. I need to get crack-a-lackin'. And secondly, because I just don't feel like it. Okay, so I'm going to take my Fabri-Tac glue. And I just have one of those Sugar Bell bottles, the icing bottles. I have that tip screwed onto it. It fits perfectly. And it's got a big globby mess on it. So we'll just try to get that off. Wow. Silicone glue. Yikes. Okay. And I'm just going to... Come on, Fabri-Tac. Do me a solid. Come on out. Maybe. You stopped up? No way. Let me get out a pin and see. Never actually had Fabri-Tac stop up. Is that a thing? Heh. Okay, put that over over there. Oh, now I can smell it. It must be flowing now. Oh, you know what, you guys? It's gotten really thick. Okay, so I'm going to, as quickly as I can, because boy, is that hard to squeeze, put a good bead all the way around on our little spine here. And smoosh it around. Okay, now it's flowing a little better. Take my little spatula. I've got a silicone spatula somewhere. Thought it was right here. Yes, it is. Smooth this out. Wipe that off on my glue book. I'm going to line these two guys up, or try to line them up straight. Straight-ish. Word of the day, ish. Get my baby wipe because I just smooched glue all over me. Is that a word? It is now. Try to get some of that excess glue. Okay. I'll take this and I'll probably put fabric over the spine. Seems like the right thing to do. Just using my brayer. You certainly don't have to use a brayer. You can use your hands. I have inferior hand strength, so I use my brayer. And there we go. We have our little cover. Little skinny spine, which is just about an inch. And probably for a month, if I'm, you know, on top of it, that's probably about how wide a spine I need, because I do put in lots of photographs and, you know, I do collaging and things like that. So an inch is probably good. So now what we have to do is figure out, we've got just under 10. We're going to have to cut our pages down to 9.5. So let's do that. Actually, maybe I'll pause the video while I do that. You guys know how to cut paper down to 9.5. I've got 2 sheets. I'll probably do 2 sheets at a time. Line it up on my mat. You could use your cutter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to do 9.25. And I'll just use my X-Acto knife, which really is acting like it wants another new blade. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, and I'm going to keep doing that, and I'll be right back. Hold on, don't go anywhere. Hi guys, I'm back. So I cut down all our pages so that they would fit inside our wacky cover. And then I also cut down the scrapbook paper, just getting as close to these measurements as I could. It's going to be shorter this way than these pages were, and that's just fine. But I made them all 9.25 tall. I think I did. Did I mess that up? Let's double check before we go any further. Oh, yep, nope, looks like I got it. So I thought what I would do with this guy is some of them I'll just fold in half, and they'll be shorter pages, which is just fine with me. It doesn't matter to me. Some short, some long. It makes it more interesting. But then we could also, you know, I like to extend pages. So we could take our pages that we're going by, that are the right size for the cover, and we could make one side the same size, and this one can be short. So we could attach something on there. We could sew something on there, we could glue something on there, an envelope, piece of decorative paper, something from the day. I will just leave it that way till I get to it in the book and decide. Now maybe we'll do on the other direction. And usually I go through and put in vintage papers and coffee dyed papers, and I'm just going to keep it simple this month. Maybe it will encourage me to get in here and do it. Okay, so those are 4. I did 2 with the little flippy outies and 2 that'll just be short pages, and that'll be fine. And so I think what I'll do, this will only be one signature, and so what I'm going to do is alternate between our composition paper and our scrapbook paper. So I think I want some of the scrapbook paper first, so we can do something interesting for the August title page, should we care to do one. And it'll be composition book pages. And I've got two together because I'm going to end up gluing those two pages together. It's kind of thin. Composition book paper generally is kind of thin. This is not as thin as others, but if you're using just a regular old composition book, you might want to glue those pages together. And I thought I would, just to be on the safe side. There you go. Let's see, here's another full one. Here's more composition. So this is just the most basic of creative daily journals, and that's fine. Gives me more room to play. I can decorate to my heart's content. I want to do that this way because the other one was going the other way. And then here's this. Okay. And there is that. Get it sort of evened up. Get it smushed down in the middle. Make all those pages act right. Make sure they're where you want them. I'm going to get out some clips. I was not as prepared as I thought. Story of my life. And then I'm going to grab this guy and try to center this. Because it's actually got, we've actually got a spine in here, it's a little trickier than if we had just folded the box in half. I think I want it right about there. So what I will do, I've never done this, don't know if it'll work. I guess if it doesn't work, you'll never see this. I'm going to scoot it up some, like that, get it kind of centered. Put some clips on. Can you guys see that? I'm sorry. So what I've done is I've centered, no, I haven't. Okay, I'm going to go through, I'm going to do this a different way because I don't think my little theory here is going to work out. So what I will do, really, is clip these guys. Again, how to make the most simple thing difficult, Brooke. Okay, and I've got my little pad because I don't want to use my mat and get crazy holes in it. So I've just got a very, very old mouse pad or the equivalent. And I'm not going to make a template. I'm just going to eyeball it. We'll put one hole in the center. Can you see that? And this is a Tim Holtz pokey tool. Go about an inch from the bottom. And go, I don't know, about an inch from the top. Is it exact? Heck no. Do I care? Heck no. Now I think what I'm going to do is see if I can line these holes up on our cover. Someplace in the middle, that looks like it's about the middle. And that will give us lots of room to expand. This guy went off kilter a little bit, and that's okay. I'm just putting some dots there. And let's see here. Oh, here's my thread. First, let's use our awl. If you don't have a pokey tool, you can certainly use a book awl. It's spelled A-W-L, but it's pronounced awl, not owl. Just a hot tip for the day. We'll punch these. I like to have bigger holes in my spine to get through there. There we go. Relatively straight. Get some good size holes. Make sure I can see them on the other side. I sure can. And because we doubled up this spine, I'm pretty confident that it's going to be nice and sturdy. So I'll get out my bookbinding needle. A blunt needle is better so you're not piercing stuff as you're going through. It's got a nice big eye to hold the thread. This is waxed linen thread. Let's see, I'm doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So I would say like 2.5 lengths of your book, of your spine. I'd rather have a little too much rather than not enough, because not enough is a giant pain in the backside. So I would rather have too much. I am going to start it on the outside because I'm going to cover up my stitching with a little bit of fabric. The spine looks extra weird now because we cut that box side and then re-glued it, so I'll just cover it with a pretty piece of fabric or lace. Okay, so I'm going to go in that center hole, come through, grab my pages, make sure they're going the way I want them to go. Yep, that's the piece I want on the cover. And I go through the center of the signature, There we go. Look at that. Looks like it came through pretty well. I'm going to go up to our hole at the top. Go through the top hole in our spine. Okay, pull that through. Don't pull it all the way through. You don't want to lose your tail. So I'm just pulling that. There goes my tail. There goes my tail. Don't want to go too far. Then I'm going to go down into the bottom hole. Oh, you can't see that. There we go. I'm going to go down into my bottom hole that I made. And this is a hard part to show you. I can see the hole in my signature right there. So I'm going to go up through there. And this is where a sharp needle might be a problem because you might start piercing paper. And because I went a little off kilter, it's going to be a little harder to get through, but not bad. You can always go through a few pages at a time and kind of thread them on your needle. You'll get there like that. Boom. Okay, I can take these off now because they're bugging me. The weight makes the pages kind of go askew. Now, until I get stuff in here, it's going to look a little off because it's not very many pages in that spine. But as it starts to fill up, the book itself will start to fit nicely together. Then you're going to go back through that center hole. Easier said than done. Do not split your thread. Another reason to not use a sharp needle. Go back through the center and back through the center hole in the spine like that. And what you want to do is make sure there is a thread on either side of this long piece. Pull it nice and snug. Okay, pull it this way, not so tight that you're tearing your papers. Put my needle back in my felt so I don't lose it. Ow, that one is sharp. Okay, don't put sharp needles in your felt either. And we're going to tie one knot. Yep, those feel nice and tight. And tie another knot. Oops, that wasn't a knot. And just for fun, I'll tie one for good measure. And guess what, you guys? You have now made yourself a book. How cool is that? Even with the simplest of pages and the simplest of covers, I get such a charge out of making a book. So there we go. Hopefully it's not wiggly. Nope, it's not. It's in there nice and snugly. And you can see at the top, it's a little weird now because I haven't filled it up. But as I go through and fill up these pages, that spine will contain the glorious fatness of our journal. Now we could go through, it looks like I got a little crooked, and that's okay. I like to smooth down the pages. I will go and neaten up my edges of my journal, of my box, because I did make the pages a little smaller than I intended. So I have room to go through and trim and neaten that up a little bit. But there you go, look at that. What was that? Half an hour, and we made ourselves a beautiful creative daily journal out of stuff that a lot of people just have lying around. So what I'm going to do, actually, you know what, I'll cover the spine first. There's where we stitched our pages in, right? And so I'm going to just take a piece of this beautiful fabric. I've been playing with the Pioneer Woman fabric, making journals and squishy bags and stuff, and this piece was lying there. And it's nice and dark, so it'll cover up the graphics, and I like how the colors go. So what I will do is, let's see. Oh, I've got this cut all crazy. Okay, so I'll just continue ripping it there. And we'll put a little snip right there. And we'll make it, how wide will we make it? We can make it pretty much as wide as we like. We're not covering up anything, you know, thrilling. So, let's see, I'll make it, say, this wide. I am going to tear it, and I'm going to leave all the stringy bits, because I like them. I think it looks cool. Very, I don't know what, rustic. That's the polite way to say it, right? And if you don't have fabric scissors, then it's easier to do. So then we're going to lay this flat. There we go. I would, in real life, I would go through and trim up my edges first before I put the fabric on, but it'll be fine. We'll take our Fabri-Tac again. This will also help secure that knot that we made here. And we'll just smear it down the spine. You could do lace on either side. You could do this in paper. You could not do it at all. Totally up to you, whatever you like. We'll squidge this out a little bit. We don't want so much that it soaks through the fabric. Carry it out a little bit to get those extra edges. Try to get up to the very top and the very bottom. And then we'll eyeball this. I don't think it has a direction, but let's see if we can get it sort of centered. Like this. Smooth it down. Oh, I really do like those colors. Not as much on the back, but on the front. I like that a lot. And I might leave this edge unglued. I was going to go ahead and lift it up, put glue in and glue it all. I might leave that unglued in case I decide to collage on this. Actually, should I leave? No, I think I'll glue this one down because both of them flapping is going to make me nuts. So you can't make a simpler journal than this. Use anything you have. Coloring book pages from a Dollar Tree book, scrapbook paper, whatever you have lying around, and an old food packaging box. And you are good to go. So there we go. Get that all squooshed down also. Where's my baby wipe? It looks like I have some escaping up here. Here we go. Squish the glue out towards the edge. Pull these little strings off because they're going rogue. And then poof. That might drive me crazy having that not glued, but we'll see. How pretty. Wouldn't that be beautiful on your shelf? So cute on the back. And we've got all of our blank pages ready to go. 32 of them, just enough for a title page for August, and a page for every day in the month. We can cover this. It would have been easier to cover it before we bound it in, but I'm really not concerned. I can certainly sneak in there and cover it with something. But in terms of a super simple journal, there you go. You can't get more simple than that. So I hope you enjoyed that, you guys. Hope it seemed super easy, and I hope you give it a try. I want to thank you so much for dropping by. I will see you again real soon. Bye.